How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is EwinRacing, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today, we have a big video, guys. We have a big video, so sit back, relax, grab yourself a beverage, and get ready for some rumors, some theorizing, and a bunch more, guys. So get ready. We have a lot of things to go through in this video, lads. So please, if you are excited, drop a like down below. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Either way, let's get started with today's video. Now, what are we talking about today, guys? Well, we're talking about Pokemon Switch 2019, and it's related to Generation 8, which is next year's game. It's already been confirmed that it's coming. We already know it's coming, but the question is, what's it about? When will we see it first time? And much more. I have tons of videos planned, guys. There's been so much information here and there. There's been info about the new Pokemon movie coming next year. Not Detective Pikachu, the other one, Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. And not a lot of people are talking about it, but it seems it's gonna have a lot of impact on what maybe Generation 8 is gonna be. So there's a lot of things happening, guys. A lot of things. So just let's get into this. So first we start with this right here. This is where our little discovery is going to take its first form. So this was sent to me by Shining Star 5022 right here on Twitter after I made a tweet about, like, I hope Generation 8 does great next year. I just tweeted that out and he tweeted this at me, but this is a thing I've already seen, right? I've already seen this in game before. It's not something I have missed. So let's take a look at what this is all about. Now, the calendar could hint at what the region is shaped like. It does not look like Spain, of course. Meltan could confirm the tradition versus innovation theme, i.e. nature versus technology. China is the only real-life location that is known for its advances in science and tech. Well, wouldn't agree with that, to be honest. I think that's really, 100% correct there. But, what is he talking about here? Well, he's talking about this thing right down here, guys. He's talking about this thing right down here. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is actually a little calendar right there. It's a calendar. I think if we open up this in another tab here, we'll be able to see it. Actually, yeah, let's just open it up in another tab, and bada bing, bada boom. There we go. So, if we just zoom in here, guys, so I can show you exactly what we're talking about. Right here, guys, you'll notice there is a map. Now, what's this map showing us? Well, it's showing us two islands. One slightly bigger island, and one smaller island. Now, I've done videos on this island twice before, talked about it, but before we even saw Let's Go Beach, Let's Go being revealed. Before the games were even, released, not revealed. Before they were released, I'd already talked about this island right here, and I said, this could be hinting at something. Because keep in mind, guys, Game Freak does this, okay? If you want to deny it, well, go ahead, but Game Freak does this, guys. They always leave little Easter eggs, little hints to other generations. How did they do this? How did they do this in the past? Well, they gave you the tiki statue, or I'm not sure what they call it, the souvenir statue, right, of the little tiki helmet, right, which was a connection to Alolan. They gave you that in black and white, and also in X and Y, to kind of connect to the upcoming, generation and upcoming region, which was Alola after X and Y, and so on and so forth. So that was the connection they made there, because the games are usually development for such a long time. They usually leave hints inside of the other games, and that's what they're doing here, guys, most likely. Hey, is this 100% confirmed? No, this is a theory, guys. Keep that in mind. This is a theory, which doesn't mean it's 100% guaranteed, but it is not something that Game Freak wouldn't do. They often do this, guys. They often leave little hints that you wouldn't think about, right? You wouldn't think about it, but it could be something. Now, what does this resemble, right? What does this shape resemble? Which countries? Well, this resembles, in my mind, this right here. Now, how do I know this? How do I know that it resembles this exactly? Well, let's take a look right here, guys, okay? First of all, we have the big, massive island here, and a small one on the other side here. Now, let's pay attention, right? It's big island, same shape as this one. Oops, that's unrelated. That's not unrelated. That's related as well. But notice also the shape of it, guys. Notice the shape. So, if we were to do a little bit of comparison here, guys, just notice how the shape of, the UK over here, how it kind of takes that shape of like almost like a hammer, right? So, let's just start from the top, for example, right? If we go from the top here, we go from the top and down, and notice how it, creates like kind of this, almost like a hammer, right? If we imagine it as a hammer, that's what it kind of looks like. But then you look back at this image right here, it does the same thing, right? It goes down there and it makes the hammer. Now, this one's actually reverted, though, so it looks, like it's from the wrong side, right? Because on this side, you do also have it a little bit from this side, so I guess you could say, yeah, it still looks the same even that way, because it does here as well. You got a little bump on the side, and then, of course, you got the long, kind of stretch down there, which I guess could be the connection there as well, but, either way, that part of the landmass is the same. But what about the other part? What about the small island next, on the other side here? Well, basically, you have this small part right here. Now, what I think this could mean is actually that they've included only Northern Island if they're doing this, if this is actually based on the UK, they could have just included the Northern Ireland part and not Ireland itself and the rest of it, right? But just only the Northern Ireland part and not the rest of it, which is very possible, if I'm going to be honest. It isn't an impossible thing, you know, to be happening here. It's very much a likely possibility that this is what we are seeing, and, you know, this is what's going on, that this actually has a connection, and this is what this is, the UK. Now, of course, this could also just be some random island down in, like, the southern parts of Asia, right? It's gonna be just some random country from there, like Sri Lanka, or just many of the island nations, right? But I feel like this is so strange that it's just shaped just like the UK. Like, when I say UK, I'm talking about the United Kingdom, not the whole, like, all the things that's around there, guys. Because if you count everything together, you know, the Ireland itself isn't a part of the UK. That's, you know, separate. But Northern Ireland is part of the UK, and it is, you know, part of that, you know, the United Kingdom, so to say. Well, this stuff down here is, you know, it's a separate country. Ireland is on its own, so it's separated, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if they're basing the region on the UK, that they would not include maybe Ireland, which would be really strange. Not sure if they would do that, or maybe it's just because the image is the way it's like made. You know, maybe they just didn't want to make a bigger island because maybe, you know, it was just too big to include all of Ireland if they're gonna do like a region based on it, but instead they just included a part of it because that makes it easier to create it. That could be the reasoning. I don't know. Now, why is all this important? Why can this even be a possibility? Why are you telling me, Ruffled? We already know this. We've seen this map before. Why is this important? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a big reasoning for this, guys. There's a big reasoning. There's a big reasoning, guys. And I'll explain it right now. If we look at this picture right here, guys, you'll notice exactly what I'm talking about. So this was sent to me by Ashy, and also by another person on the emails, which I'll check out later. And also, yeah, Ilura sent this to me as well. I did here. I guess this is what Ilura meant. And what he's talking about here is this right here. Now, what is this, guys? Well, basically, if you notice in this image, guys, it's a character in a movie, and what's that behind him? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's London. That right there is London. I think Big Ben is right in front of the guy where he's walking, like right over here. I think that's Big Ben, or it's like maybe over here. I don't know. Either way, I know in the other picture that I've been sent, it's a bit more clarified, but that could be Big Ben right there. And that means England is now present in the world of Pokemon. Because this movie, quote unquote, they're watching on here in the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime, clearly this movie has some sort of connection to the UK. It clearly does. They've shown enough now. It's actually a thing in Pokemon now. And would it surprise you? Would it really surprise you if Game Freak were to hint at these sort of things? Really sneakily hint about it without our knowledge? Would it really surprise you? That's what I'm asking. Would it really surprise you? Because it doesn't surprise me. I know the Game Freak loves this. I know that the Pokemon Company, they love doing this. They love leaving small little hints that you don't think about. You don't notice. You don't pay attention to it until it's already happened. And you're just sitting there like, wow. Okay, this is real. Now, are we done yet? No, we still have more, guys. So here is the email that was sent to me originally, showing the, you know, the movie from, like, you know, the characters from the kind of front perspective here. So what he said here is, I made a screenshot of the episode in the right moment. As you can see, this hints at London, England with Big Ben in the background. I have another theory concerning the starter Pokemon of every region leading up to the UK. Also, the grass starter will either be Grass Psychic or Grass Dark, according to my theory. If you want to know more, tell me. Have a great day, brother. And this is the image, guys, right there. Guess you guys can not see it right now, but if we just get the image, you know, right up here, boom, there it is. So this is the same thing again, same thing, you know, same thing. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Just zoom in a bit further, and you know, oops, wait, I should probably, you know, move this up. There you go. Same thing, guys. The UK, literally UK. It's literally the UK, right? Background, UK. All the buildings, UK. You know, London buildings. The freaking mist and the fog or whatever. So synonymical. It's so, like, you know, let's say, such a cliche thing about, you know, Britain, about like how it's, you know, foggy and whatnot, which, by the way, it's really foggy in Sweden as well, so I'm not judging you, you know, Britain, I'm not judging you, but all I'm saying is this literally, like, points towards that. This is literally a direct connection. But what else do we have? Well, see, he mentioned another thing here. He said starters, and I thought, okay, I don't know what you're talking about here, but I would love to know more. You know, tell me, what do you have in mind? What's this all about? I'm really curious. And then he sent me this. And he says here, and let me just zoom out real quick, and we'll just kind of read this, and I'll show you guys what it's all about. So here's what he tells me. So he says, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna probably block a little bit of it, but you'll see it in a second. He says, all right, man, I've already seen this before, guys. I've covered this similar thing before to you guys. I'm not sure if this was the same person sending it to me, though, but I think it's actually same individual. But he says here, all right, man, short info concerning that episode. Ash and Kukui are watching an episode of a guy they met in Alola who works kind of as a movie director. For that episode, he went to London after watching the episode. Rotom calls that place a faraway region. A faraway region that we're going to be visiting, lads. So, the starter theory. So, I made a theory a great time ago before Let's Go was announced, where we all thought Gen 8 would release this year instead. So, here's what the theory was. He had a list here of, like, how the Pokemon work, and I'll kind of zoom in so you guys can see this better. I'll zoom in, and you guys will be able to see this from a better perspective. So, let's see. So right here it is, guys. So he basically made this theory that, like, each generation has a stealthy Pokemon, a feminine Pokemon, and a bulky Pokemon. And what he means right here is, if you notice this, guys, right? So Generation 6, the stealthy Pokemon was Greninja. The feminine Pokemon was the Fire-type Pokemon, Delphox. And the bulky Pokemon, you got him right there. See what I mean? But then in the next generation, Generation 7, the Sidui right there was a sneaky and stealthy Pokemon, right? Which then, kind of rotates. It's like basically they move forward every time. So the next one that would be stealthy would be the Fire Starter in the next generation. And the feminine one would be the Grass Starter. And the bulky one would be the Water Starter. And there's another comparison when you check, like, the previous generations. And it almost seems to line up every single time as well. It's really strange. Now, he continues to say here that, so he says here, so we all know that picture by now, which, yes, I've seen this picture before. I've talked about it before. But what I recognize is a pattern. The Generation 6 starter Pokemon have a type disadvantage towards the Gen 7 ones. Grass Fighting type Chestnut has a disadvantage against Decidueye's Ghost type. Fire's Psychic type Delphox has a disadvantage against Incineroar's Dark type. And Water Dark type Greninja has a disadvantage against Primarina's Fairy type. I'm calling it now. Grass Dark, Fairy Fire, and Water Poison for our Gen 8 starters. And I'm not finished. Look at this. And then he shows me another thing. So he says here, I'm not finished. Look at this. So Gen 6, Water Dark, Fire Psychic, Grass Fighting. Gen 7, Water Fire Fairy, Fire Dark, Grass Ghost. Gen 8, Water Poison, Fire Fairy, Grass Dark. The same type of the water starters has an advantage against the fire ones. And let's see, and the fire ones against the grass ones. It's a pattern as well, extra. What I also recognize is that the stealth starters of the respective region have the most to do with the region itself. Greninja is a frog. Guess what the national animal in France is? I guess a frog. I guess the national animal there is a frog. The Decidueye, Hawaiian Pueo, okay. I can see us getting a unicorn as the fire starter. Fits the missing horse of the Chinese zodiac, but that's not that's only a long shot. I will send you some of other theories in the future since I have more. I hope I could help you out with at least giving you a smile on the face, dude, and you definitely did, man. Have a good one. So this is insane to me. The amount of stuff, that happens with Pokemon and the amount of intrigue that is in this series is beyond me, man. The amount of, hints and little things is insane. So, the question now remains, are these hints in the game here with the island, right? Which I think looks like the UK. I could be wrong. There probably are other islands that are similar as well, but I feel like this makes sense, right? With the anime having this insane connection right here, with the UK and saying it's a faraway region, right? Literally that looks like the UK. Does this mean, guys, that we're going to the UK in the next Pokemon games? Because honestly, it would make sense, guys. And you know why? Let me tell you this. France and the UK have a connection like no other countries. France and the UK, and by the way, France is what was used for the basis of Generation 6. Kalos is based on France. You all know this. What country is on the other side of France? Well, it's the UK. What country is the UK always had the most connections with? More than they have with Spain, in all honesty. A country they warred with several times. Like, the UK and France have had conflicts for centuries, right? They've been warring for ages. They've been, at each other's necks and, throats for a long time. They have a history, right? And if you guys remember, the moon dial... If you're on the moon dial, there is a sort of island. There's some sort of island out in the, in the open. When you look out there, there's an island out there. And could that be the islands that we see here? The UK island, Northern Ireland, and the rest of, Britain, and maybe even, normal Ireland as well. Is that what it all is? Is that what it's all relating to? Because, again, the UK and France, they have a connection. They have a connection, I think a connection that's stronger than the connection that exists between Spain and France. Do I think a Spain region would be cool? Hell yes, dude. I would love to see that. But I think a UK region would be cool? Oh boy. Oh yes. Because that would be fantastic. And with all these hints, guys, because this is such a blatant hint, in my opinion, from a faraway region. Literally, that looks like the UK, dude. It is the UK. Like, come on, dude. It's London. Literally. Big Ben, everything, dude. And just imagine that, guys. Because, in Kalos, you had, kind of a representation of, Paris, so to say. In this game, you can have a representation of Big Ben and, because, Paris, not Paris, but, you had, like, the Eiffel Tower and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, those connections and whatnot. In this game, there could be just a big tower, dude. That's like Big Ben, essentially. I don't know, man. It's incredible, dude. It's incredible. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys think? Does this sound reasonable? Does it make sense? Do you guys agree? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching this video. My name has been RuffleReality, and I will see you all in the next rumor video. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe and leave a like down below. And also let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this, guys? What do you think? Either way, that's it. I'll see you all the next time. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.